Oh, look, there we are. There we are. There we are. Welcome, welcome. Tuesday with Todd. Hey, it's like I forgot what to do on buttons. I was live and nobody was here, and it was because I didn't hit the live button. And then the second time I did it, nothing changed. So, hey, welcome. Welcome. Technical difficulties of live. Welcome, Tuesday with Todd. We are on season 5. Season 5 years we've been doing this. 5 years, episode 24. Welcome. Tonight, we're going to talk about the xTool S1. And is it for you, right? We're going to talk lasers. This is where I really need your help at. I'm really going to need your help as to what we can and can't do with lasers, because remember, I'm a laser newbie. I know some information. We're going to go over the information I know. We're going to go over why I believe that the S1 can really help your business and what we plan on doing with it and all that fun stuff. So if you have a laser, put us in the comments. I got a laser. Let us know. When you get in here, check in. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and how the weather is. It's in the it was like 60s, 70s outside. It's gorgeous. Little rain. Monster still rocking today, and we're going to get right into it. We're going to check in. We're going to see how people are doing, and I'm going to open this up. Wide world of lasers here. We're going to see what kind of fun information we can between each other. Now, I got 4 pages of notes because, hey, I want to kind of stay on topic. There's some things that I found going through my research, other things. Like I said, this is where I really need you, because a bunch of you guys know a lot more than I do, and I am not afraid to admit that. I know enough to set things on fire, and the rest is just, going to come to me. So you guys, this is where I really needed that. So let's check in and see how people are doing today. Renee, thanks for checking in. 79 in Chicagoland. And what? Water in the bottle. Yeah. Barb, hello from North Central Minnesota. 47 overcast. Hot tea in the cup. And we do have our affiliate link, which is right there, in the discount code. It's going to save you $200. 200 S1 is what the discount code is there if you're for it. Now that's going to go through, I think, November 2nd, and they're throwing in some free stuff with it. What's up, Chuck? Good afternoon to you. Chuck, are we going to see you at the TRW takeover in a little over 2 weeks? I thought so. Central Florida, 80 and sunny there. Hello, Chuck. Hello, Barb and Renee. Rena, hello from SoCal, 72 there. Nice day. It's a garbagey day. I mean, it's a nice day, garbagey day, but it's a bad internet day. I can see the internet connection is just wonky as all get out. I tried checking it, and I realized I wasn't going to reset anything because at least I had it, so we're good there. FU Facebook user, thanks for joining us. Now, Facebook and StreamYard don't always play nicely. When that happens, you become FU, as you clearly see. So stop that. You can head over to fatdadlive.com. That gets you into our YouTube side of things. While you're there, make sure, like and subscribe, turn on the notifications, ring bell, whatever you got to do. So that way when we go live, you will be notified. And let's see, Stubborn Bull, thanks for stopping by. Another shout out to Renee from Arena. Prepping dinner, so tonight might jump off for a bit. The great thing is it's on YouTube, so you can come back and watch it anytime. Laser cutting as you speak. Rena, what are you cutting? Tell me more. Rena, since you're the expert right now. I got you and Renee in here. You guys are my experts. You're going to shoot me down where I'm wrong. You're going to tell me where my info is wrong and help me with all of that. So I say we do that. Yeah, sure. What time? So TRW Takeover is happening November 10th at the worldwide headquarters of the Rhinestone World. Times will be determined, but I believe it's going to be 10 to 2. 10 to 2, there's going to be some product demos. There is going to be some hands-on training. There's going to be some make and take stuff. There's going to be some in-store only specials. And I think we're trying to sneak in a factory tour of it too. So, we'll be able to tour everything at a single one-time thing later on. So we're working on the details. I had a meeting today to go over that, but TRW Takeover is happening November 10th there in Bradenton, Florida. Come join us. Come one, come all. Me, I guess I said that wrong. Pilar and myself are going to be there. Matt's going to be there as well for a bit. And it should be a great time. I'm hoping that a lot of people learn some things because we're going to show off some of the new stuff. So you'll be able to see that the Juliet will be there. There's going to be some unbelievable deals. I'm telling you. Unbelievable deals. Ramona, thanks for dropping in and say, hey, y'all. Ramona, I'm still trying to source your stuff. I got a couple feelers out there, but for whatever reason, I don't know if I'm asking the wrong questions or what, but I'm continuing to look for it. And Renee Tarina, are you going to APA next year? It is Super Bowl week. I know Renee's already set to go because of it being Super Bowl week on flights, one we could do and get in and out of there. It does not look like we are going to be attending. Rena is all signed up for APA. Let's go. And Barb giving a shout out to Ramona. And this says laser cutting unisub for custom sublimation pieces. Love, 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 love that. T-Town, hello, sir. 78 over here in Toledo. Took a bike out to the daughters to dance tonight. Very nice. Then just softball year-end party. But nice night to get on the bike. Yeah, because they're few and far between. By the end of the week, we're going to be ridiculously cold here, I think. Okay, so lasers, right? We're gonna get into it now. This is where I need your help. You're gonna tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm right. But let's go through, the wonderful world of lasers, right? Wonderful world of lasers. 4 main types of lasers. We got the diode, we got the CO2, we've got the IR, and we've got the fiber, right? Right? 4 types, 4 main types of lasers. So this is what I got down here for your diodes. They're good all-rounders, right? They're perfect for materials like wood, leather, some plastics, but metal and clear glass, not the greatest. From what I've seen, it looks like there's a little more that's going to go into that to make that work. Can it be done? Yes. I've seen people use that diode on metal, no problem. And I've seen people do it on the glass, no problem. Now, us on the S1, allegedly we can. Now, we have an S1 with the riser, with the honeycomb bed, with the pass-through conveyor, with the air assist, the 40-watt diode head, the 2-watt IR head. Currently, just showed up is the main component. The main laser is here. So we will do unboxing video. That's most likely going to be a standalone one once we get everything here so we can go through it and set up. And the reason I say standalone one is looking at the calendar. There is no Tuesday with Todd next week. It's Halloween night, trick-or-treating, 5 to 8. So no Tuesday with Todd next week. Following it, we've already got on the schedule for marketing. We're going to do, and this time in marketing in November, we're talking social media. So we've got that on the schedule for November, what is that, November 7th? Yeah, November 7th. Then the following week we'll be on vacation, so we won't be here. So it won't be until after that. So we're going to get some standalone video content for you on that. So yeah, we're going to see. We're going to go out there and see. Now the CO2s, those bad boys are the powerhouses. These ones they're going to excel in the woods, the acrylics, the fibers, glass. But with metals, they're not the best unless they're coated, right? You're going to run some issues. You want to run some coating with it. Now, the IR lasers, those are precision masters, and they are great for those materials where the accuracy is really paramount, but they can be overkill for some projects. And then the fiber lasers, those are going to be your metal monsters. If you're looking to do metal exclusively, then fibers are going to be where to go, because on some of that other stuff, on like the plastics, organic materials, it's just not going to be the best thing for it. So those are your 4 main types of lasers. Now, I know we have 2 of you in here that are running lasers. So you guys tell me, was I correct in those explanations of those 4s? When all out, yeah, I mean, there's a possibility of xTool is also sending us some stuff. So if that's the case, then things might swap up. But it was after the fact that somebody reached out to me and said, hey, would you put a proposal together, and what would you think about doing this project together? I'm like, hey, I've already got one. Let's send one. Let's see what we can do, and maybe we'll see what we can do with it. And T-Town said, I tried to laser on my OFA knife. What is that? OFA knife. I don't know what the OFA is. That a misspell, or is that a real thing? Knife that does not work. You only see a little burn mark. I even tried to go over it 3 times, so I'm not sure. Just needs less speed or more passes, or it don't work, because you have the 10 watt, right? The 10 watt, is that correct on it? The 10 watt diode. This one, so in the S1 there is 2 variations of it. There's a 20 watt and a 40 watt, so you can pick between those. Eventually the other heads will be available, so if you want to buy a 20 watt, you're able to, or if you have the 20 and want to upgrade to 40, you're able to do that. But the 2 watt was also an added feature that you could buy to it. Let's see. I met Barb. Hey, Barb. Yeah. I have the M1. Okay. It's what I knew, somewhere around there. So when we look at, let's see, power of different lasers, there's the diode we've already is, pretty robust. The CO2 is robust. The IR is efficient, and the fiber is pretty much the metal master on it, right? So there's going to be, I guess if you look at it, each laser is kind of like its own Avenger, right? Together, they're their own superhero, but together, I mean, individually they're their own superhero. Together, they're the Avengers, right? Because they all have a unique power, right? They all have a specialty that they do. So you can mix and match. Maybe you need this one for this project, that for that project, and that's why there are the different ones for the different things out there. Because with laser products, how many different things can you laser on, right? Fabric, wood, glass, ceramic, metal, powder coating, silicone, anything, food. You can laser engrave on food. I was watching a video on that where they were doing it on some cookies, and it would make me hungry. But yes, there's so many different applications for it that you want to do what's best and what's right for you. So we're going to talk a little about what I feel things are with it. I'm really going to focus on the xTool S1. Reason being is because that's the one that we went with. That's one that we have with it. And how we think it can help in our business and how we feel it can use in your business. Some of the pros, some of the cons to it. Now, some of the people that I've talked about the cons to it, they wouldn't think those were cons if that was their first laser. So that's one of the thing. Coming from different lines of it, some of the lasers out there now have the camera placement, so you can see everything that you're doing. This one doesn't have it, and they said coming from that side of it, it kind of was taking a little bit to get used to. Whereas others said I never had that, so it never bothered me. So like I said, there's going to be ins and outs of both things that you're going to need to look at for it. Yes, 10 watt. I see you're fine with it. And yes, it's my Olaf night. Okay, I use for tinning. Okay, yeah, you can laser on them. I just don't have the settings right of the wrong laser or the wrong laser. We'll see what we can do with it, T-Tom. I'll see what we can go to it. So on the xTool, on the xTool S1, we have the one with the 40 watt diode. So really, it's why do we get it for? What was the reason behind it? So we got two things for it. The main factor is content. With us on the wide format printer, I mean, it's just printing. So that's what we see, is we just see it printing. At least you can read what it is. On the DTF, it's just printing. You can sort of see what it's printing because it's printing in reverse and then it covers it with white. So on the content creation side of it, for lives, doing discussions, having it run in the background, yeah, that can that can work. But as far as just regular standalone content, not so much. Where we can really use it at is the application of stuff. So application of decals, application of wraps, application of window graphics, car graphics, trailer graphics. We can do that with the EcoSolvent. On the DTF, it's pretty much making shirts, right? Pressing different things. So we could show that, but we're still limited by what we're pressing that day on it. On a laser, didn't matter what laser, because that's what we have, the 40 watt CO2 for, which means now I officially need to get that out so I can do side-by-side comparisons on this. But where it is, we can do a lot more content creation with it. It goes back to when we did a lot of sublimation things, and we need to get back into that as well, where there's so many different products where it's easy enough to print, show, print, press, done, right? Print, press, profit. I think that's what good old Michael Kaminsky used to say, was print, press, profit. There might have been another P in there, but even that same way, we can do different things with it. So it'll be a lot easier for creating that short form content. On the long form content, actually showing the project from beginning to end. So that's where our main tool is with it, is going to be, that content creation side of it. We'll have that side of, will it engrave? T-Town will send us that, and we'll see if we can get it to engrave. But we'll take, your request of, hey, will it do on this? I don't know. Let's order up and see. So content creation is the number one thing for it. Number two is going to be for those samples. Now, there's instances with this where I've seen people, and on the not so much on the S1, because there are people that have had it for months now, that from behind the scenes, and they're starting to release their thoughts on it, releasing their videos on it. But on a production standpoint of it, some things, what I'd seen on previous videos were taking, a half hour, an hour and a half to do. So while that might be great for a sample piece, there's just no way you could make money off that. When you have to look at what an hourly rate is, So it could be great for those sample pieces, for those testers, for those giveaway things, because you're not having a lot in it, but not great for production because of the time that it takes. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. So will ours be used for production? Most likely no. It'll be used for, mostly that content. We're going to try it with some. Oh, I got the rotary with it too. I just thought about that, the rotary, because there's different things with that. So we'll have every piece there, and that's what it's mainly for, is for content, to show real world stuff. This is how it works. Here's how we can break it down. Does it make sense or not for you? So for us, the demand, this is what it's going to be good for. Those samples, it's going to be great for those content creations. And in general video, since it is a new piece of equipment, people are going to be looking for those. So for us creating the content, guess what? People are going to be looking for those videos. Now, I know people that have like the 20 watt, and they are doing perfectly fine with it. They're using that for all of their lasering needs. They're doing tumblers with it. They are doing plaques with it. They are doing the slate coasters with it. So they are doing a lot of different things with it. And, they're like, hey, this is what we got started with it. And then, if it goes from here, then we'll go into something else. So definitely interesting to see how that will all play out. Oh, I didn't even think about that, Renee. Pumpkin pies and macaroons, right, are big this time of year for engravers. Ooh, a pumpkin pie with an engraved on it. I'm down with that. Tim, I think you need to adjust your settings. And that's what we'll do. We'll get Tim fired up with it. So on that xTool, I'm going to see if I can find the little sheet for it that gives me all the little things on it, because so on the xTool S1, it does have that compact all-in-one designs. So it has, if you have the diode laser before, you have the glass that goes around, the orange plexi around it, and then you're wearing safety glasses with it too to protect yourself. On the S1, there's no need for that. It's all enclosed, so you don't have to do that. So it can run anywhere. It is a class 1 laser, which, right, on safety, there is multiple different sensors in it to detect if there's fire. So there are tons of safeties in place for it. They said that one of the reasons this was made was for that, that shared workspace. It was able to fit on the desktop. You were able to do a lot of different things with it. Now, as far as the bed size, let's see, is roughly 24 inches by 15 inches. So not a huge bed, but not a small bed either. I've seen smaller, I've seen bigger, come in all shapes and sizes, but not a horrible size. Now it also has that pass-through option. We have that, so you're able to do that. The pass-through option will allow for products up to 3 meters. So in US, that comes out to what, 9 feet? So 9 feet that you can run through it, and it through that automatic pressure, or that auto conveyor system that runs through it. You can also pair it with their, what is it? They've got a name for their rotary. It's like an R1, RE2, I think is what it's called, but they have that for it. So it is pretty legit on being able to do that. There is some issues that you'll run into, because I think you can only do like 3/4 inch thick things currently with the honeycomb bed in it, but that's what you need the riser for. The riser will allow you to put those in-depth things in it. You can also get it with the smart air assist, so you can have some options where it has the flow where it automatically adjusts the size. Now, don't ask me how it does it, because I don't have it yet, but there's a thing where it had buttons on it where you could turn the levels yourself or turn it to automatic, and does it for you, where it comes on there and puts it through it. As far as software, xTool has its own software, which is the xTool Creative Space, but it can also be ran off Lightburn. One of the problems currently with running it off Lightburn is because it is so new, some of those Lightburn features won't work in the xTools, or some of the xTools won't work in Lightburn. So there's kind of a give and take there to figure out which one works for you. As far as exhaust systems, it does come with its own exhaust system, which has a fan in the back, and then tubing that lets you take it out wherever. So if you are doing it inside, they recommend one of those air purifiers that you can pair it with. and just hook it straight to there, or vent it outside. You know, you can get some other options like the Amazon, and off of Amazon things, right? So that's what we got there. How am I doing so far? Am I talking too much? Am I making sense? Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns? Let me know in the comments for it. Now on that, per xTools, what they have for what they say, as far as materials and things that can be engraved, cut, what have you on it. On the diode side of it, um, what it was it for cutting, it was paper, which really intrigues me because how do you not start a fire? But paper, wood, leather, MDF, felt, and then some dark acrylic. And now, because of the light waves of diode lasers, it's not going to cut through all acrylic because it just passes through it. Now, there are some hacks that people have done to be able to do it, but once again, those are hacks. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they don't. Now, as far as engraving, it says, paper, wood, leather, the MDF, stainless steel, some dark opaque acrylics, the bamboo, the fabric, dark glass, ceramic, jade, marble, shale, cement, brick, plated metals, painted metals. So you're able to do that. Now, with that infrared laser that we got that head with it too, um, you're able to do metals, plastic, and black acrylic. So of course, those are going to be things that gonna we're gonna test out with it. As far as their 2 wattages that they have available right now, they have the 40 watt and the 20 watt. So for efficiency, and you have those higher cutting requirements, the 40 watt is going to be to go. But if you don't have any demand for the efficiency, so the speed, things like that, or the cutting capacity, you don't need to cut things as thick, then the 20 watt should be for you. um, you know as far as that IR head, that's going to be able to engrave just about any metal, as well as acrylic and plastic. So if your main focus is on jewelry or smaller crafts or things like that where you use those metal things, then that IR module probably going to be pretty legit for you, because you're going to be able to go and go right into that. Think, like those little pieces that go on the bracelet, and you can just put somebody's name on it. Hey, not too shabby. Now, is somebody asked, if it was easy to use, and I'm like, I haven't done anything with xTools before, so I will be able to tell you. But I know a few people that haven't, and they went from opening the box to making their first burns within an hour. So I think it would be pretty easy to use on it. I'm not going to say that it's not, but I'm going to say that you're going to be fine with it. Going through some of the things to consider. But even like there's the 20 watt head and the 40 watt head. Due to the size of the 40 watt head, you do lose a half inch of your workspace. So that's something to consider. Connectivity, like how does this all work? So you can connect this by USB or Wi-Fi. So it will connect up to your Wi-Fi. So that's interesting. Wi-Fi always scares me, because sometimes, if you have a bad connection or things, what happens with that? I prefer to be hardwired in, but it seems like people are doing fine with the Wi-Fi side of this, running it off tablets, running it off laptops. They're doing just fine with it. One thing to hear, like when you compare this to like a Glowforge, Glowforge, everything's in the cloud. You have to be on the internet. If you don't have any internet, you don't have a Glowforge. So at least with this, you don't have that. You don't have to worry about it. As far as like system, that you need for it, you're able to, like I said, to do it with a computer. So you're able to do both Windows and Mac. I'm almost positive on the Mac side, but I'm pretty sure on Mac side, because I thought I've seen somebody doing it. But the tablet, I've seen it run on Androids and iPads, just like on phones. I've seen it run on Androids and iOS. So you're able to do it from your phone, from your tablet, from your desktop, from your laptop. So, pretty cool little setup right there. As far as your weight, it's roughly, I think they said like 60 pounds. Maybe right around there. I'll have to. I'll get other things that with xTool, You can buy just the machine by itself, or you can buy all of their other accessories either at the same time or other things. And things that you can buy are that Smart Air Assist, the honeycomb panel, the rotary tool, the conveyor systems, the smart base with it, separate heads, the desktop purifier. They even have something that's a fire safety set, which I don't know a whole lot about. And I didn't plan on starting fires, so I didn't even look into it. But it does look like that is an option for you to go. So my thing would be it's got to be some kind of fire suppression thing. Now, where was I on my notes? Because we went through the accessories. Support. When I was talking with people on the support of xTools, is they said their support has been everything that they had. Tech was able to help them out in no time flat. The longest somebody had to wait that I talked to was about 6 hours for it, and they were able to get back to it. So not horrible, not the greatest, not horrible, but they were able to get it, everything taken care of with that. So I don't think it's a horrible by any means, especially by some of the other things that are out there. Safety. I wonder if I have the little safety things on here for it. I thought maybe possibly I did. Yeah. So class one laser safety certification. So I guess I'd have to Google what that is. Now, it has an emergency stop button on it. It has a lid open safety on it. It has it's all enclosed with the safety glass. So, you can look at it so you don't have to wear the glasses on it. So, pretty sweet on that. Like I said, the 3 heads that are coming with it, are pretty legit with it too. The IR, I guess what I can do is we can kind of, I can bring up the xTools page, and we can kind of go through it that way and look at some things that way. What did he tell your thing so I can see it? I only use Wi-Fi on mine. That's what it is. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's get back up here. There. I only works in their program, but works fine for me. Shoot, mine only works in their program instead of Lexburn. I don't know. Let's see. Barb says I use Lightburn with xTool in her D1 Pro 10 watt. And T-Town says I use Wi-Fi only on mine. George, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. T-Town says it's set off with CO2 burst when fire is in there, I believe. Okay, that totally makes sense then. And Barb says I have a dedicated laptop for xTool. Being it is right next to it, I use the cable connection. And that's what I think is smart for anything. Anytime you're running any kind of equipment that has basically you need a terminal to run it. So we've got one already for wrinkle solvent printer for our DTF printer. Pull it and do it. So that's our goal for that. Look, thanks, Chuck. Chuck is correct. The fire prevention option injects CO2 to extinguish fires. There we go. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for that. So what I'm going to do is, because some of the stuff you kind of have to see to understand, is I think it was pretty, innovative for what it is and how it works on it. So we're going to pull that up. We're going to pull up there. Let me bring up their site. Let me grab a sip of my drinky drink. Excuse me. And all right, let's see if we get in here. And now maybe it's going to let me add to the stage, and we'll see if it'll pull through there or not. Add to the stage. There it is. And we're going to make that its own guy. So that way that guy is all nice and big here by himself. So we're going to go through this. It's got the one-click autofocus. So it'll come down. It'll drop this little pin right here on the object, and then it'll go back home, and then it knows the difference between that spot and what that spot was, and so it knows the auto thickness of it. Twin point positioning, which I don't know if that's in here, if there's a video of it that shows it, but it is pretty legit. You will mark something on a corner, and it'll give you the dimensions of what you're able to print in there for it. And so it's got the different laser modules on it, the 600 millimeters per second. There is the class 1 laser certification right there, the 3 different heads that we can run through it. And let's look at what it can do with each one. So down here, Let's see, cutting excellence beyond compare. You guys can read through that, but there's 18 millimeter wood, one pass with it. Can I move over here a little bit? Yeah, there's colorful acrylic made effortlessly. So 40 watt on the color acrylic. Looks like it'll do just fine. So it's got to be on the clear acrylic is where the big issue is. Now, if we go back over here on this side and come up, 20 watt. 20 watt, 10 millimeter on one pass. That's all it says on it for there. Doesn't get anything else. Let's see what it says for the 2 watt infrared. Here it is on that, engraving on acrylic. Now we know it's not that fast, but there's metal, acrylic, plastic. So it will do it on that. So, like I said, we're going to test all of this stuff out to see how it is. So upgraded structure for stability. So it goes through all of this, how it is. It's got the chain drive in it. So with the drag link, very nice setup there instead of cables and stuff just running over there. What is this showing us? Unshakability stability, even at 600. So it's showing there where it's straight lines versus others wonky donkey lines. So I get that. As far as tech goes, encoders, algorithm, blah, 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 blah. Twin point positioning. Here we go. Check this out. So we can put something in there and like there. There's the standalone thing. How big do we want this in there? We might have to rewatch that video from the beginning so that way we can see it and actually understand what it's doing. But there, we put a piece of jewelry in there, mark the first spot where we want it, mark the bottom right hand where we want it, hit the spot. Now it gives us our dimensions of how big. Okay, we can size what we need to do, and then boom, it does that. I thought that was pretty legit. I'm like, I'm not upset at that. So then the center point made simple. So anytime the red dot moves in the software, you'll be able to see where it is. So you know where you can set up your work. You can know what to do with it from there. So pretty legit. This was, to me, I thought was so fascinating. This dynamic focus engraving for uneven surfaces. And so what it does is it goes through and it drops these little points. And then it brings it in, you see a 3D model of it. And then it will go ahead and it'll adjust. So it'll do a curved surface. Now, I've seen somebody have a butcher block on the side and it went up that. There is a limitation of it. Doesn't like sharp drop-offs. And 15 degrees seems to be the limit, or at least the limit that they're telling it. So it may be more. But just watching that process, man, that seems pretty legit to me. I'm like, oh, let's see what happened. Oh, with that little this little drop down here, you're always going to have the autofocus. So instead of manually having to focus and making sure you're in the right spot, autofocus, you're going to be good to go on that with it. What's this? Limitedly amplified. Okay, so here's your bed sides. S1 is a 23.9, so what, 24 by 15 inches right there. That's what's giving it for a bed size on it. It has the pass-through redefined, and see, check that bad boy out, where it's got this system here that you can throw it on the front, pass it through, 3,000 millimeters, which comes to 3 meters, or roughly, 9 feet. So we can put a 9 foot by 2 foot board through there and make something like this challenge right there, right? Okay. The rotary engraver I thought was pretty legit too. Like I found a lot of legit things with it because there's glass, shows it from there, putting it on it. Where I really saw it was like that. The ring. You see that? How that thing, like where that rotary is it can grab from the inside or the outside where it's grabbing the ball and it's grabbing the, right there, grabbing the ball and then in there. So I thought that was pretty cool on that. So, we're gonna try all that stuff to see what we can do with it. And then, here's where it comes in. I need somebody to convert this for me. 133.5 millimeters tall with the riser. So whatever that converts out to. Here's the Smart Assist laser, or Smart Air Assist. Man, that's too many things that we were talking about. Where what it does is, if you look at it, it has the control on it. So you can have that turned to whatever you want, where you can have it set at the different levels, or just turn it on auto and it'll take care of it for you. So of course we're going to go auto and put it on there for it. And then right there where it says it can work with the xTool Creative Space or the light burn. There's the exhaust system that's right on the back. There's a fan in here. You're getting this so you can run it outside. You can run it to a booster if it needs to be vented longer, or you can get one of these desktop air purifiers, that helps there. One-stop solution. So you can get the xTool by itself right here. There's the air assist, and here's all the different things. There's the air assist, the honeycomb, the whatever that's called, the rotary attachment, fire safety set, the riser, the conveyor, the IR label, and the smoke purifier. So there is everything for xTool. Here's specs for it. As we go through it, let's see, the product certifications, laser power for the 40 watt and the 20 watt, spot size, working area. So like I say, you do lose about a half an inch on this because of the head size on it. Standard 120 voltage. I know that's not, I don't see that listed in here, but that's that. Customer reviews. I don't think there's a whole lot of them, but there's that, everything right there. So in a nutshell, that's the S1. Now, what are we going to do with it? Everything. We're going to try everything with it. If it works, we're going to try and put it on different things. We're going to try, anything that we can think of. Will it on thumb drive? Will it go on a thumb drive? Will it go on a dirty phone case? Will it go on the back of a remote? Will it work on pens? Will it work on pencils? Will it work on silverware? What can we do? And, what we're going to run it through its test. I think, budget wise, when you look at what's out there in this price range for it, because that's one thing that we didn't talk about. So I guess we can talk about that and bring it back up here for it. Bring it up to the stage, is pricing on it. So pricing, when we come up here to the top for pricing, for this one, for the S1 40 watt, it's $2,200. $2,200, and if you order now before November 2nd, they're including the Smart Assist and the honeycomb with it. So you're able to order that. Let's see, accessory free shipping. Let's see. So the S4 will ship in early to mid-November because it is a pre-order now. See, it says pre-order right now. S20 will ship in 1 to 3 days. If you order any accessories, you get free shipping on those, and they'll come mid-November. The automatic conveyor feeder and the riser base. The rotary will ship early November, so you're able to get that. 40 watt machine, $2,200. You can add in the rotaries. You can add in the biggest savings kit, the all-in-one. So you add the all-in-one kit, and that is going to get you that's going to give you the 40 watt. That's going to give you the rotary attachment, the riser base, the automatic conveyor feeder, and free gifts. And so with all of that, you're at $2,900. You can pick your plug, which you're going to know there, and you can go ahead and now if you enter the code 200S1, that is 200S1. I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to put the link in here again for those in there, and you're able to see if it has it in there. That's our affiliate link, so we do get a small commission if you use that. It would be, that's what keeps this thing going. But having that will get you, $200 on it. But yeah, that's what you're at. So you're at 2,800 or 2,900, 200 off, $2,700 on it. That's what you're looking at for. Now, let's go through questions. Ramona says, am I seeing that the system has a built-in camera? It does not have a built-in camera. It uses that twin point technology is what they're using. And from other people that I've talked to said, yes, while the camera really comes in handy for it, between the marking system that it has and with it, they're not noticing that they miss it. Some said right off the bat they thought they were going to hate it because of that, but it does not have that in there. You want to try it on your laptop and iPad? T-Down, do it. Tell us what you got there. T-Down says, I have for the rings, have not tried them yet, but I did do a baseball and that was cool. So it's things like that. Like I was even thinking like these silicone rings, these are my wedding rings. I have one nice ring that I'll wear when we have nice occasions, but everywhere else is these silicone rings that I just burn through because I get them caught on stuff and they break. That's true love for you. But can I engrave on something like that? We're going to find out. But the baseball, softball, yeah, all of that stuff, I'm really intrigued to see if we can do it. And like I said, content creation. By being able to do on a baseball, by being able to do on a softball, by being able to do on a hockey puck, by being able to do on a football, on a soccer ball, hey, what can this work on. Let's see what we have with it there. And Teton said there it does not have a camera as well. And Barb, and for the xTool, I have a 3D printer, Creality, right? Creality. We know the Ender 3 S1 Pro, so I can make stuff for the xTool. I thought that was a good excuse to get one. I talked to somebody yesterday, and they said they used their 3D printer to create the jigs for it. They had created jigs for the old for the previous model, so for like the D1, and it would attach using the base. So the base legs would go in the holes, does everything there. And they're like, well, this one doesn't have that, so how are the jigs going to work? And what they've come to find out is by setting your jig up right and then using that 2-point system, it's the same every time. So there's that. Now, being able to use your 3D printer to create things that will hold. Oh, I was about to grab some wrong stuff. To hold something like this to keep it from rolling, which, like I said, you need real production laser work right there. 33, right there. Can I say, yeah, 3330? Oh, right there. Go see Renee. She'll get you hooked up. But that's where, creating things like that. I've seen one of the best classes that I have ever taken, and Renee could agree with me or not agree with me. We'll see what she does, was Indianapolis. I'm not even sure what show it was, maybe an NBM show, but Trotec had a laser course, and they talked all about ways to build jigs, Legos, clay, Play-Doh. It was super fascinating to think that and see it and be like, oh, okay. That was, it was just amazing to see all the different things that people had created with that. And now, you can create it with that. And then when you want to build it, you can build it out of 3D build. When was that, Renee? 2019, 2008, 2018, 17, somewhere around there when we went to that show. And it was just like mind opening to see all the things that you could do with that. So that's probably one of the best, most informative classes, because even though it was a Trotec class, there was little to no selling in it, which I found super amazing because we all know most of those classes do nothing but sell. So that was probably my most information for selling class that I've ever had. And here it is, 4 or 5 years later, and I still remember the class and remember things from it. So I'm going to have to dust off the worksheets to go back and figure that out. Yep, the Trotec class. Yes. Legos work in a pinch. Yep, and that's what we did. And Renee says she uses Legos all the time. T-Town says, all right, about to jump on the bike and go to the next thing. I'll rewatch the rest later. T-Town, go out there, enjoy that. Get in there and do it because there's only so many nice days left. We'll see you in the morning because, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, we do morning mindset. So you'll want to hop in there for that. Now, with this, do I think this is for everyone? Yeah, why not, right? I think it's a good entry-level system to get in there. You're not spending the tens of thousands of dollars on your larger brand ones, but you're also not spending less on like our K40. You're going to have tons of support behind it. Comparing this to a Glowforge is going to somewhat be close. Like I said, the big detractors to me on the Glowforge side of things was having to use their system and having to be online, to be able to use it. Those are just two things that I'm like, I wasn't 100% sold on the Glowforge for. Masters of Marketing, good product. People love it. They are Glowforge faithful, and I'm not going to knock that side of it. It's just when you have to use their software and you have to use, you have to be, on the cloud to be able to use it at all. Well, then I can't use it. So that was one of the issues that I saw with it. So, that's things to consider. You got to look at all that when you got it for it. We're gonna look, and Rena, yeah, the weather strip and the caulking cord, yes. And look, Barb, great idea. I have Legos for the kids. Yeah, there's all kinds of different things. And Trotec, that class was amazing. And if anybody has a chance to take it, because I think didn't we see it like last year somewhere too, Renee, or 2 years? I know we've seen it since COVID at a place, and was like that's a great class for it. But I think with this, it's going to fill that spot for those people that are looking to add something to their business. If you need those low production counts, like say we're doing leather patches and it's only 5 or that single tumbler, it's just not cost effective for me to do it because I've got 2 shipping charges: the shipping charge to get it to the engraver, and then you get the shipping charge to get it back from the engraver. So you've got 2 shipping charges in it right there. Is there enough meat in there to sell it for one? No. So that's why, you have minimums, 12, 24, 48. You have case breaks on it, so that way you do it. Now it kind of opens up where, you're able to not have those minimums for those things. Those things you're able to do in-house. For us, we're going to see a lot of projects that we're going to do, and I guarantee every one of our family is getting something laser engraved for Christmas this year, whether they like it or not. Why? Because I got a new toy to play with, and I need to create some content. So we're going to be creating some content with it. We're going to show some different projects. We're going to show some layering projects. I've found some really cool stuff that I find really cool for myself, and with that, that's what we're going to do. We're going to show off, a lot of that. We've got friends and family. We got the Disney trip coming up, and we're in these. I don't know who has been on a Disney cruise before. If you've been in Disney cruise before, let me know in the comments. I'm going on my first one on my birthday. Amazing, right? Yeah, good times. Apparently, there's these things called fish extenders. I don't know where that name comes from, but apparently there's groups that you get in, and we're in a group with 5 other families, and you do some exchange. Corey decided she was making everybody Disney themed cups, so I think she's got like 25 cups to make, so that's what's rolling over here. And then there's other stuff that needs to be made. So I was like, oh, we can laser engrave some ornaments. We can do this. So we're going to test it out with all this stuff to see, for personal projects, see what we get for it. And then on the production side of it, when we start doing this content video, so we're going to do a tumbler. Okay, how cost effective is this to do? Because here's your time for it to do. You got to figure out, what does it cost you to run your laser? In our business, just in general, it's $2 a minute. So, if something took 4 minutes times 2, that's $8. So we're going to do some cost comparisons, and is things worth it? Is it not worth it? Well, we're going to see and go from there. I don't know. We're going to go and see what we can do. Yeah, let's see. I think it's at APA this year. Yeah, I may take it again and see what they've added. And if it is, yeah, maybe that's where we saw it was APA last year, and we're like, this is amazing on it. Ooh, Rena, right there. Rena's got a great idea. Signal tumblers are perfect for customer appreciation. And something else where I think on things like that is those samples. If you're able to, grab a customer's logo and do it up on a tumbler real quick and just be like, hey, just want to drop this off to you. If there's anything we can help you with, here you go. Things like that. What are some other things that we can do? We're looking at a couple different ways that we can add it to stuff. I want to see how it does with apparel. That's one of the first projects that I want to do in probably, hopefully right when we get back, but I want to see how it does in fleece. What is pushing it through there? What is, how is it going to burn through? Is it going to look nice on it? What's it going to look like? So that's what we're going to do is push it through. And so there, we're not going to try and catch anything on fire, but there's a good chance that we could do it. And Jenny from Broken Fence says, I'm sliding in late. He had to take the kiddo to cheer practice. Well, come back and watch. Put in team replay when you start watching there. Ramona says, my specific interest would be to cut out white fabric patches. I am told that I would need a CO2 laser to cut white fabric. I would need a camera setup to map where the patches are laid out to cut. I don't know, though, would you? Because if you've got a workbed in there, let's say, I don't know what size the fabric is. The fabric that I had just grabbed for Corey was like a foot by 2 foot. So that would go in the bed, and then I would lay out my pattern just like I would in anything else to be able to cut it. I don't know. We're going to try it, but I'll get some white fabric. Does it have to be? I know it has to be because I know better than this. As I say, does it have to be a certain type of fabric? Yes, because not all fabrics are the same. So, Ramona, hey, what? You tell me, what type of fabric and it needs to be. And the next time I have Corey over at the fabric store, we'll grab that and put it on the list. And we'll see if we can cut some stuff with it, see if we can cut white fabric with it and go from there. And there, Renee to Ramona says, you don't need a camera to line anything up. I use the measurements on the bed. Yeah, and that's the other thing is I've seen a lot of people with these where they have the measurements on the bed. They have created jigs for them, so it's easy change in and out. It goes to the same place every time. I don't believe there's any reason that you'd need a camera. I know plenty of people that have cut for years without a camera, so I think that is just somebody trying to upsell you on something, on maybe something you don't necessarily need. But if you want, absolutely go ahead for it. Irene said, yes, leather patches on apparel. Yeah, leather patches are huge. What are the different things that you can have? And especially with like the textile adhesive. I mean, I have it upstairs. I have it upstairs. Renee did for me. Oh, geez, that was pre-COVID. But she did a leather. We did a leather patch, and we used the. I'm not even sure what adhesive she used on it, but it basically turned it into a sticker. And I have that on my tumbler. She engraved one side of it. We put that on the other side of it. So maybe that was 2020. So it's been 3 years now. Hand wash it. Haven't had any problem with it coming off, but it adds that. Remind me, somebody remind me, and I will bring that. I'll make sure to have that cup down here tomorrow, because I use that cup a lot throughout the week, and it gets washed a lot, and never had any issues with it. But things like that. How can we make something better? How can we do stuff? Talking with a few people on the laser side of things, the reason that they don't do stainless is because it's a pain to do. It's time consuming. It's not cost effective because of having to use the Surmark with it to get that dark engraving with it. So we're going to try some of those different things. Those things that people say that they're not able to, or they have trouble with. I want to experience those same frustrations. We know that's what Tuesday with Todd is about. Is, hey, we're going to try this and see if it works. So I'm going to get some cameras. I'll be able to throw it in there. We're going to be able to watch it go. I don't think you have to cover your eyes, but that's the plan with it, and see what we can do with it. I think it was the TRW Bling Anything. I think you might be right. I think it was the Bling Anything that we did that for. Sarah here for a few before parent teacher conferences. Well, thanks, Sarah, for stopping in with us. So, we're pretty excited about getting this. I think it, only time will tell if it is a worthwhile investment. But on the content creation side of it, I think it is, just because of us being able to do more things with it, show more things, offer more products. And it's always fun to have new toys. And this being a toy that was just released last Wednesday, and I'm staring at a box there, knowing that every day the rest of the week more boxes are showing up. Pretty legit. I'm pretty excited about that. So that's what we got. We talked the S1. I believe that if it's something you want to add to your business, if you're looking at getting into laser engraving, to be able to offer at least low quantity things, because I don't know how the production speed's going to be on it. So I can't attest to that and say, yes, this can be a production beast for you. I'm assuming it won't be. So I'm assuming it's going to be great for the smaller quantity items, for those one-off things. I think this is where it's going to excel at. But I could completely be wrong, and it could be a beast out of the box. I'm going to have to talk with some of my other laser friends, and we're going to have to run some tests. Hey, let's all use this same fabric or this same substrate. Here's the same design, same power setting, same whatever. Because that changes a lot too, how fast something's getting done, power settings, things like that. Can it be done with this? Does it make sense for it? Anything that's going to take, an hour and a half, 2 hours. There's something that I was watching last night, and they said it took 3 hours to cut. And I'm like, or to engrave and cut. And I'm like, holy, whoa, 3 hours? I don't know about that. So, there's going to be a lot of learning with this. And I'm just excited to see what we can do with it. And says, and knowing every day I'm jealous for you getting it before me. Sarah, yours comes tomorrow or whatever. Sarah was with me on the live, and she kind of had that same discussion, just kind of those one-off things, because she has a laser engraver local to her. But there are minimums, there are things like that, and sometimes like find that faster turnaround time on things, on one-off things is going to work. So Sarah made the investment in it, and her and I are going to learn together. So we're gonna make up new swear words. We're gonna have, I feel, a ball with this. So, like I said, I'm pretty excited about it. I think we're gonna do a lot and be able to do it. Twill, please. Twill. Okay. Twill. What did I just do with my pen? I just showed it. Twill. White twill. White. Is there different types of twill, or if I just say white twill, am I gonna be fine? Ramona, I need you to reach out to me on that and tell me. So we'll go from there. All right. I'd be happy to send you some. Ramona, I'll send you my. You will message you my address, and yes, send it away, and we'll run it through for you. So yeah, we'll run it. We'll run it and see what we get from it. We'll do some test patterns on it. Sure, why not? Let's run it through it and see what we get. All right. You guys have an amazing night. Hopefully you were able to take something away from this, from the xTool. I feel it's going to be a great tool in the arsenal. I think it's going to be a great tool for people who are just wanting to maybe start that side hustle, add something onto their existing crafting business, add something onto their existing apparel decoration business. You know, here's it. What can you do with this and be able to add on to it? As the weeks and months go on, we'll know if this is a worthwhile investment. So as of day one, having it in a box, so far so good, right? It can only go down or up from here. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So you guys have an amazing night. We'll be back here tomorrow morning mindset, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning is when we do this. So until next time, peace, love, press on. You guys have an amazing night.